Good evening. I'm June Allison, and welcome to the Dick Powell Theater. Our play this week, entitled Project X, is an exciting drama of the space age. It takes us into the fascinating world of the men who launch our rockets and missiles. Our stars will be Michael Rennie, Gena Rowlands, and special guest star Steve Forrest. After a moment, we'll be back with Act One of Project X.
This is Vandenberg Air Force Base, the sand-swept home of giant missiles. Here, thousands of men and women, both civilian and military, work around the clock to win the race for space, to fashion fantastic weapons which might someday make the difference between life and death, yours and mine. Here and in many other places in the United States, an army of scientific specialists is turning out instruments for peace and war, hardware to stagger the imagination. Inside this building, and there are many like it, there is a secret force, a drive, more powerful than nuclear energy itself. We call it secret because there are no devices precise enough to measure its potential. That force is man's will, his ingenuity, and his dedication to a job infinitely complex. For behind every moment of victory, there is man, the miracle maker.
Switch to standby. When was this instrument calibrated last?
I don't know.
Well, you should.
No, he shouldn't.
Why?
He's a machine watcher. That's his job. The care and feeding of the machine is my job.
Well, when was it calibrated?
This morning.
All right, I want a circuit-to-circuit checkout. Then I want a series-by-series checkout. Then I want a unit series checkout. And tomorrow morning, a full dress rehearsal. Now, there should be brains enough around here for that. Well, don't just stand there staring. Get started.
May I go to the bathroom, teacher?
Is that supposed to be a joke? If it is, we don't have time for it. This bird's going up on time.
I'm betting someone puts you in orbit first.
Hold it! This is no time for a gang fight. Roger. When did you sleep last?
I just got up.
I don't mean a 30-minute nap on your cot over there. When did you take your clothes off and really sleep?
What difference does it make?
You're driving your men too hard. And yourself.
You don't have to listen to the generals.
Roger, is there something else wrong?
No.
Perhaps you should postpone the launch.
That won't be necessary, Doctor. You designed this beast, but it's my job to make it fly, and that's exactly what I'm going to do, on schedule.
As project engineer, it is also your job to know when to tell your men to go ahead and when to tell the generals to wait.
I'm aware of my responsibilities.
Yours is a strange country.
What do you mean by that?
Young, impatient.
Look, Doctor, my young, impatient country has won 2 wars in the last 40 years. So who's right about getting on with the job?
It would be a pity if I had learned so little from defeat as you have from victory.
What did you learn that was so valuable?
Something that you still don't know.
But, Doctor, I'm too tired for guessing games. Would you get to the point?
Look around you, Canfield. What do you see?
Men and machinery.
You must learn to tell them apart.
Morning, Ruth.
Good morning, General.
Is Mr. Finley in?
Not only is he in, he was looking for you. Go right in.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, as far as our scheduling goes, we expect to launch...
Have a seat, Connie. I'll introduce you later.
Well, as I was saying, gentlemen, we hope to launch at 0200 hours tomorrow. Well, the first signal we'll receive will be from the Kodiak station here in Alaska. The next will be from Hawaii. And 17 orbits later, the payload will jettison, and C-117 aircraft from the Hawaiian area will make an aerial pickup. That's about it. Are there any questions?
Yes, I've got one.
Yes, Congressman.
Will the darn thing work?
We're pretty sure it will. Any other questions? In that case, I'll turn the meeting back to Tom Finley, who, with the help of 19,000 civilians and the United States Air Force, produced Plutarch.
Thanks, Colonel. Gentlemen, this is General Conrad Mundy, Air Force retired. Joined us about a month ago. General Mundy, this is Congressman Rhodes, House Armed Services Committee. Herbert Ross, Department of Defense.
General.
Of course, you know the Colonel.
Colonel.
Connie was my CO when I was with the 8th Air Force. He worked my tail off all through the war. I decided to get even with him.
Just what are your duties going to be, General?
Well, officially, I'm attached to the Personnel Department. Actually, Tom Finley felt the job up. He's the one who can explain it, especially to me.
Connie Mundy's in charge of Project X. Sounds kind of cloak and dagger, doesn't it? Well, it's not. The X equals people, as we all know, the most important and sensitive equation of them all. So when a new project gets underway, Connie keeps an eye on the people involved. Sometimes men show the stress faster than metals.
Then you're really a psychiatrist.
Never even read a book on the subject. I've just been exposed to a lot of men in tight spots.
Well, good luck, General. Well, I guess that winds us up here. What's next on the schedule, Colonel?
General Barker of headquarters is expecting us.
You mean I'm actually going to be shown one of those silos?
Oh, yes, you are, Congressman.
See you all at lunch.
Right. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, this General Mundy. What's that? Emergency receiving. Well, how bad is he? I'll be over right away, thank you.
One of these days, General, I'm going to have the pleasure of arresting you.
You must have been doing 70 getting over here.
80, obviously. How is Canfield?
Just a little bump on his head.
Banged the car up pretty good, but it's drivable.
Doc's with him in there now. Didn't know if it was worthwhile calling you this time of night, but you said...
Thank you, Sergeant. You did quite right. Canfield's almost as secret as the project itself. Oh, did you notify his wife?
She's on her way over. Good.
Thank you, Doctor.
I'm General Mundy, Rapid Space and Missile Company.
General, I'm Dr. Miller.
How are you, Doctor?
Excuse me.
Well, how do you feel, Roger? Like I bumped my head. You found out in a hurry. That's my job. Well, how about it, Doc? How is he?
No concussion. He'll have a headache for a while, that's all.
See, General, no sweat. You brain boys ought to have to wear football helmets every place you go.
You sound bitter.
Last week it was Evans from advanced planning.
Next time I'll break my arm just for you.
Driving home, will you?
No, we ran into a clinker on one of the tests. Couldn't find the answer. I thought maybe a little fresh air might help.
Roger,
Hello, Bear.
are you all right?
Oh, I'm fine.
Well, they told me you hit your head.
Nothing to worry about, Mr. Canfield. A couple of days' rest is all the medicine he needs. So, if you'll take him home now, we'll all go back to bed.
Thank you, Doctor. I'll get your coat.
Beth, if you'll drop me off at the plant, I've still got some work to do.
Roger, you've had an accident.
None of the circuitry checked out. I have to go back.
What was that you said about a couple of days' rest at home, Doctor?
Certainly as indicated.
You said I was all right, Doctor, and I am.
You shouldn't have said home, Doctor. My husband thinks that's a dirty word.
Beth, I'm all right, honest. We're still on schedule. If I stick with it now, when it's all over, we'll have a week or 10 days together. Just me and you.
Just like before.
Beth, please try to understand.
It's not hard to understand. You're still choosing that tin Jezebel over me.
You've been drinking again.
You were supposed to be home at 8 o'clock last night for dinner. You know what I did?
Beth, you're getting yourself all worked up.
I got all dressed up. I fixed dinner. I put on a white tablecloth and lit the candles.
Believe me, I know how tough it is on you.
At 8 o'clock, I opened a bottle of good wine, and I sat down and waited. And waited.
Did you see Dr. Hall today?
No.
You promised you would.
Well, I broke that promise. Want to know why? Because I'm so old-fashioned, I keep thinking that a child should have two parents. A mother and a father. But I suppose that's asking too much. No, I think I'll just stay ignorant about a baby, if you don't mind. That way I'll never know what I'm missing. Well, go on. Don't keep your mistress waiting for you. Call me sometime. I know you don't mind the 10 cents. It's the 3 minutes.
Mrs. Canfield, we haven't met. I'm General Mundy of Radford. You all right?
I'm very well, thank you.
Could I drive you home?
Just what are you general of, General?
The U.S. Air Force retired.
And what are you doing here at Radford?
For the present moment, my command is one desk, glass topped in the personnel department.
How do you do? Good night.
You'd like a cup of coffee?
No, I feel like a cup of vodka.
I'm afraid you're too late for that. It's 3:30.
No, I know a place.
Mind if I join you?
Suit yourself.
Like you made a mistake. Everything's dark.
I was too young for the speakeasy days. This is my substitute. It's me, Charlie.
Who's the guy with you?
The general. 1 star?
2.
How nice of you to wait up for us, Charlie.
What'll it be, Mrs. Canfield?
A cup of vodka.
A vodka on the rocks, please.
Cozy, isn't it?
I have to get some cigarettes. I'll be right back. Give me a pack of cigarettes, please. Any brand.
$50.
50 cents. Make her drink a very weak one.
And yours?
Full strength.
That's a switch.
She come here often?
Once in a while. You nosing around for a husband?
No, as a matter of fact, he asked me to see her home. She get loaded?
Look, I don't like quiz shows. She comes in here by herself. She keeps her mouth shut while she's here. And she leaves by herself.
To the loyal sons of Bradford.
To the loyal wives of Radford.
Oh, come on now, General.
Oh, what's the matter?
Nothing. I'm just not much in the mood for a pep talk tonight. Well, what does your wife do with herself on your night duty?
My wife died 2 years ago. So I know what it's like to be lonely.
There's supposed to be a moral in that story somewhere, General?
Yes, that wives are important to husbands. I thought that all up by myself.
I'm sorry about your wife. I lost somebody, too.
A parent?
My child.
I'm sorry.
Well, the medical history was simple. Something started to go wrong in the 7th month, so they rushed me to the hospital. I kept calling for my husband. I kept calling and calling and calling and calling.
Well, they weren't able to reach him?
Yes, they reached him all right. He was at Cape Canaveral. He was in a critical stage of a countdown. So they gave him a choice. They needed him there, but he could go. He stayed. Well, everything went fine with the missile, but not with my baby.
And you blame him?
No, I'm not blaming him. I'm not blaming anybody. But I'm not blaming anybody.
Why don't you try again?
You know, you have a heart, General, I can tell that. But you know what my husband has here? He has a computer. You push a button and out comes the answer to the square root of -1 or something wonderful. I would like my baby born with a heart. Well, can you give me one good reason why I'm telling you all of this?
No. But I might be able to give you a reason for Roger. And this new space age of ours is breeding a lot of very talented nervous wrecks. Just the other side of that fence are a lot of fellows who need all the help, all the support we can give them. I'm asking you, Beth, don't make it any harder than it has to be. I know it's tough on you and a lot of other wives, but this job has to be done now, quickly.
Dear old General Mundy, head of Radford's Department of Human Engineering. Hey, that's pretty good, isn't it? Has sort of a nice space-age ring to it. I'll drink to that. Only I haven't got anything to drink.
It's getting late. You think we better be heading for home?
Now, there's where I'm ahead of you, General. That's just what I've got in mind. Home. All the way home. You know, I can make it in about, 6 days easy. Boston is very nice this time of year. So I think I'll just have one more for the road.
Here, finish this. And listen to me for a minute. I know how you feel. But going home to Boston won't solve anything. You'll be taking your problem with you.
You know, you may be one heck of a general. But as Miss Lonely Hearts, you're a flop. Now, if you'll excuse me, please, I have some packing to do. Thank you for a lovely evening.
Mrs. Canfield. Beth.
Please let me drive you home.
I know the way.
Your husband needs you very much, you know.
Oh, no, General. He might if I were a graduate of MIT or a whiz at nuclear physics. And I'm afraid I'm just a little boarding school girl. A very bored little boarding school girl. Good night, General. When you and Roger land on the moon, drop me a line. I'll be in Boston.
What do you know about Roger Canfield?
I've talked to him a few times. Why?
I just got this report. Says Canfield went off the deep end yesterday. Blew his stack, sounded off to the men. Even let Dr. Hoffman have it.
What else does the report say?
He recommends removing Canfield from his present duties as temporarily unfit.
When?
Immediately.
Before the shoot?
As of now. Listen to this. Occupational insecurity due to being placed in a situation of grave responsibility at early age, leading to conflicts with older men of more experience and maturity. What do you think of that?
Nothing wrong with Canfield except that he's beat. Dead beat, and so's his crew.
You honestly think it's as simple as that?
Almost.
Tonight, gentlemen, there can be no allowance for failure in performance or judgment.
That's supposed to ring a bell?
You said that just before our first big mission to Berlin.
That's right, I did.
Well, it goes double now. Still think we ought to take a chance on Canfield?
I think that's your decision, Tom.
Why?
Because I'm not wise enough nor patient enough to get mixed up in people's lives.
You're forgetting I remember you from the Air Force.
Well, that was different.
How?
I had the whole U.S. government behind me then. If I told a guy to do something, he didn't have any choice.
Yeah, but you always made it look like he had a choice. That's quite a knack.
Well, maybe I lost the knack. Anyway, after the shoot tomorrow, I quit.
Why?
Because I'm not getting anything done.
How do you know? This job is different from anything you've ever done before. It's not like looking at photo recon reports and counting the bomb hits on target. Results really can't be measured that easily here.
Have you ever tried convincing a miserable, lonely wife that she should love her husband just because he had an important job and he might fall apart if she ran off and left him?
Look, Connie, man has learned to control some fantastic new elements, but the oldest one still throws in the human element. It takes a very special talent to handle people. You have that talent. That's why we need you. I wouldn't be capable of it.
You wouldn't?
Still want to quit?
I'll think about it.
That's fair enough. Connie, this one tomorrow is an important step forward. Some things in that model we haven't tried before.
Want to ask me that question again about keeping Roger Canfield on the job?
All right. Still think we ought to take a chance on Canfield?
I'd keep him.
That mean you're staying?
No.
like to talk to you. I'm busy.
How's your head?
It's all right.
Everything check out all right? Have you talked to your wife?
I talked to her.
I saw Beth home last night. She's a nice girl.
Look, do me a favor, will you? Butt out of my life.
I'm only trying to help.
I don't want any.
Oh, you misunderstood me. I'm not trying to help you.
And what do you mean?
Plutarch? It's important to everyone that it goes up. That's what's important, not who puts it up.
Look, Monday, you're interfering with my work. If you don't quit, I'll have a talk with Finley about you.
Well, that'll make us even. I just had a talk with him about you.
Why?
That little blow-up you had yesterday?
It was just nerves.
That's what I told Finley. I said you'd be all right.
Was there any question?
It beats me how a man who can build a Plutarch can be such a fathead about everything else. I want you to go home and see your wife. Spare a cup?
You know, Monday, this is a lousy job.
Why?
Beth.
There must have been times when you could have gone home, if only for a few hours.
Haven't you heard, General? We're playing a game for the highest stakes ever. There's no second chance for the loser. You certainly don't throw down the cards and go home and see your wife.
Not even when she's having a baby?
See, you found out about that, too.
Your wife told me.
Well, you know this business. You know what it's like during a countdown. 5,000 guys all over the world working on it, pinning their whole meaning in life on it. Life. Maybe some guy living instead of dying because of it. She should understand that. I was wrong. I should have been there. Afterwards, I tried to make it up to her, but it was no use. So that's how the wall between us got built. You know, General, there are times when I wish your friend Tom Finley had never found me.
You still love her?
I don't care who puts that missile up, but it's going up.
Please, no more brainwashing.
May I come in?
Aren't you supposed to have a search warrant for this sort of thing? It's forcible entry.
You going somewhere?
That's very observant, General. This is a suitcase, and these are clothes. You put the clothes in the suitcase. Now, if you'll please excuse me, General, I have a date with Highway 101. Oh, yes. Among other things, I'm studying to be an alcoholic. Isn't it a little bit early for you missile men to be out?
The If you're trying to break the 4-minute mile for self-pity, you're wasting your time. They've already broken through that barrier. They found nothing on the other side.
Say, I've got a wonderful idea. Listen, why don't you take your good works down the street to the Bradleys? He's on the Gena project. I understand they're fighting all the time. Just ask for Helen, and be sure to explain it to her that it's all her fault. I'm sure you'll straighten them out in no time.
Thanks, I'll look into it. Right now, I'm more interested in the Canfields.
Well, if you really want to be useful, you can help me pack.
You know, Roger said he never stopped feeling guilty about the baby.
Well, you boys at the base don't hide anything from each other, do you?
He also said lots of times he wished Tom Finley had never found him.
General, I'm afraid you're flunking your parlor psychiatry test.
There's so many things to fail at these days.
You have it all figured out that I have a problem about losing my child.
Am I wrong?
I've learned to live with it. Until some do-gooder brings it up. You know, she would have been 2 this month. Nancy. Roger picked the name. He had time then for little things. Those little things that you don't consider important, that don't fit into the big picture.
You could fit in if you wanted to.
No, when I was a little girl, I used to dream about growing up. I even had my own imaginary family. Once a week, we'd have company, just like my mother and Dad. You know something? Even when my mother wasn't young anymore, I used to love to look at my father's eyes when he looked at her. That look said everything there is for a man to say to a woman. Everything worth living for. It's had the life drained out of it by Radford. I look in that mirror and I don't see Beth Canfield anymore. I see a vegetable.
I know a retired general who was turning into a vegetable. He'd served his 20 years. Thought it was time to live a little. So every afternoon you'd find him at the Army and Navy Club reading the newspapers. He was probably the best informed armchair general in the Republic.
You don't have to go on, General. I think I get the message.
Then why don't you stop packing?
Because I wear a dress, I use lipstick, I powder my nose, I'm a woman. And Radford couldn't care less. The way things have been going the past few years, Roger couldn't care less either.
He told me how often he's very much wanted to come home. But that he knows he's part of a team that makes the difference between survival and destruction. Beth, do you know why I came back from the sidelines? Because there aren't any sidelines. This is a new kind of war. No front lines, no sidelines, no back lines. One small error tonight, and everything could go down the drain. And Roger could be the one to make that mistake. Let's say he takes his mind off his work for a single second. Suppose he stops to worry about you.
Worry about me? He's married to that missile. But were another woman, I think I could handle it.
I'm sure you could. Just the way you could handle this if you really wanted to. And why don't you call him and tell him everything's all right?
Mrs. Canfield regrets.
Tell him you'll meet him at Vandenberg tonight. You ever seen a launching?
I haven't seen a prize fight either. I'm not much interested in spectator sports.
Here, ask for him. He loves you, you know.
Does he? Well, I'm still going to Boston.
All right, run home to Boston. I'm sure you'll be as great a comfort to your mother as you've been to Roger.
General, do you want to hear me scream? Because I can scream quite loudly. I can scream in decibels if you don't get out of here right now.
Let's stop it. Stop it! I never hit a woman before. But this time it seemed to be in the line of duty. Here's a pass for Vandenberg, just in case.
Attention, all personnel will begin evacuation of hazard area. Begin evacuation of area red.
Would you like to look, Mrs. Canfield?
Oh, thank you.
LO2 loading indicator green. Rapid LO2 load indicator amber. Instrumentation, would you give me LO2 storage tank pressure, please?
LO2 storage tank pressure, 60 psi, and holding steady.
Guidance ready indicator green. Helium load indicator green. Instrumentation, would you give me helium bottle temperature and pressure, please?
Helium bottle temperature minus 250 degrees.
Helium bottle pressure, 1500 psi. Missile battery activated indicator amber. Missile battery activated indicator green. Instrumentation, would you give me LN2 flow rate, please?
LN2 flow rate, 62 gallon per minute.
Flight control and RV ready indicator green. Fuel and LO2 ready indicator amber. Instrumentation, would you give me LO2 duct pressure, please?
LO2 duct pressure, 2.5 psi.
Fuel and LO2 ready indicator green. Instrumentation, are you ready to support commit?
Instrumentation ready.
Instrumentation status verified. Commit sequence will start in 60 seconds. F recorders 30 seconds prior to commit start. Landline recorders fast 30 seconds prior to commit start. 30 seconds. Commit will start on my mark. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Commit started.
We're not getting engine start.
Commit stop on my mark. Mark.
We have a malfunction in the ignition system.
Check through all systems.
Missile oxygen tank pressure increasing.
I'm going to emergency pressurization to open boil-off valve.
Negative, boil-off valve still closed. With the valve closed, pressure's building up from the liquid oxygen changing to gas. When the pressure gets high enough, the tank will rupture and blow the bird. Pad and all.
I'll try it again.
Negative, boil-off valve still closed.
It has to be an umbilical cable, jarred loose.
Put emergency procedure 6 into effect.
There isn't time. She'll blow long before that.
I'll try aboard again.
Signal's not getting through.
Crazy. You'll get killed. The pressure's almost over the red line.
Canfield. He must be trying to force the boil off.
No. Roger.
He's going to be all right, Mrs. Canfield.
Thank God.
I'm sorry this happened, but she's all right now.
If I was still a general in good standing, I'd court-martial you.
Attention, all launching personnel. We will pick up the count at T-minus 20 at 0500 hours. Report to assigned stations immediately.
Mid-patch, missile ready indicator green again. Prepare to reinitiate commit sequence.
Roger. Never do that again. My heart won't stand it.
What about me? He leads a general into situations of extreme peril. He could have gotten me killed. And that's not good at my age.
Well, let's get this one off. After that, we can decide what you're promoted to.
I'm afraid this is my last launch, Mr. Finley. I've chosen a wife instead of a missile.
Pneumatics internal, green. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engine start.
Come on, baby. Come on.
It's a success.
For a missile, yes. But we lost a man.
When I saw how close I came to losing you, I knew I could never run away and leave you.
You don't have to, Beth. We're leaving together.
No.
You mean you're willing to stay?
Yes.
You know something? We're going away anyway for a couple of days. We'll leave tomorrow for San Francisco. By the way, what was our room number at the Palace? That night it rained so hard we couldn't go out.
706. But I'm afraid I won't be able to make it. There's something I have to do.
Oh? What?
I want to see Dr. Hall. Maybe this time we can schedule a baby so that your next Jezebel will give you the day off.
I'll be there. Goodbye, and good luck. Goodbye, General. I'll see you in a couple of days. And thanks. Maybe I'm not so bad at this job after all. I think I'll stick around for a while.
Could I buy you a drink with a double warhead in it?
Certainly could. And I know just the place.
Missiles fired from below the ground. Polaris fired from below the surface of the sea. Thor. Atlas. Spaceships. Freedom. Friendship. Liberty Bell. Aurora 7. Sigma 7. Satellites. Rockets. These are the marvels of exploration and survival in our time.
Thank you for allowing me to spend this hour with you. And I hope you'll tune in next week for the Dick Powell Theater.